Most people never build long-term wealth for a simple reason. Not because they aren't disciplined, not because they lack motivation, and not because they're lazy. In fact, many of them are doing exactly what they've been told to do. They're working hard, and that's the problem. Up to this point, we've talked about why motivation fades, why discipline alone fails most people, why so many feel lost even when life looks fine, and why exhaustion is usually mental, not moral. All of those ideas point to the same conclusion. The system most people apply effort inside of is fundamentally misaligned with the outcome they want. Hard work feels like progress. It creates movement, urgency, and the comforting sense that you're doing something productive. But systems don't reward effort. They reward leverage. And when effort is applied without leverage, it doesn't create freedom. It creates dependency. This is why so many disciplined people still stall. They're reliable, consistent, and exhausted, yet nothing compounds. When effort scales only with time, there is always a ceiling. More hours don't change the structure. They just increase the cost of staying in it. Discipline beats motivation quietly, but discipline applied to the wrong system still leads nowhere. It simply makes you more efficient at staying stuck. That's the part no one tells you. Consistency only works when the direction is correct. People who build long-term control understand something most don't. Systems compound. Effort doesn't. When effort stops, results stop. When a system is built properly, it continues producing long after the work is done. This is why the people who are winning long-term rarely look like they're trying hard. The visible effort happened earlier, before the outcome was obvious. This also explains why so many people feel mentally exhausted. They aren't weak. They're running constant output with no compounding return. The brain eventually recognizes when energy isn't leading anywhere. That's not laziness. That's feedback. There are two responses when progress doesn't match effort. The first is to push harder, add hours, add pressure, add urgency. This creates more motion, more stress, and more visible struggle, but rarely changes the trajectory. The second response is to step back and reassess structure. Where does effort multiply? Where does it decay? Which actions continue paying off when you stop touching them? The people who eventually build long-term wealth and control choose leverage before intensity. They accept slower starts in exchange for exponential outcomes. They're willing to look inactive while others perform busyness. They don't confuse discipline with direction. What looks like sudden success is usually the final stage of correct sequencing. Quiet construction, low visibility, minimal explanation. While others chase motivation and external validation, they're reducing exposure and increasing asymmetry. The real danger of believing hard work is the solution isn't failure. It's stagnation that looks responsible. Being busy, tired, and explainable for years while nothing compounds. Over time, that becomes an identity, and identities are hard to exit. The shift happens when the question changes. Not how can I work harder, but where does effort actually produce leverage? Not how do I stay disciplined, but what structure makes discipline unnecessary? When that changes, pressure drops, clarity increases, and time starts working for you instead of against you. This channel isn't about hype, motivation, or grinding harder. It's about logic, leverage, and long-term advantage. If your goal is control rather than applause, and systems rather than slogans, you're in the right place. And if this way of thinking resonates, you already know what to do.